What's up, guys? It's the little crazy boy Aaron, and here I'm back with a brand new review. This time we are going to be talking about Spider-Man Homecoming, the newest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the first standalone Spider-Man film in the MCU. This was one of my most anticipated films of the entire year, and I've just been waiting for this film ever since I saw Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War. I thought Tom Holland did a great job with him, and now we get to see him in his own movie. So, what do I think of it? First of all, Spider-Man Homecoming is directed by Jon Watts and stars Tom Holland reprising his role once again as Spider-Man. And this is not an origin story, thank God, because the last two reboots we've had, the last reboot we've had told another origin story that was completely unnecessary. So I'm glad that this film did not tell an origin story because we did not need it. And this basically takes place after the events of Civil War. Peter Parker really wants to go on missions with the Avengers and do all this stuff, and he's constantly wondering when the next mission is going to be because he is really excited to get into this whole superhero thing. You also have Peter's best friend, Ned, who is basically the comic relief in this film, and his character was really good, and he was really funny, and he did do a really good job with his character, and I would love to see him return in the sequel. And of course there's also the love interest, Liz Allen, and I felt like this was handled really well, even though we'll get to something in the spoiler section, but I feel like, yeah, this was done really well. And of course, what else can you talk about? Like, the Vulture is the main villain in this film, and he's played by Michael Keaton, who does a fantastic performance. This guy killed it as the Vulture. He was intimidating, he was interesting, and he was just an all-around, just intimidating, great villain. He was probably one of the best villains we've had in any Spider-Man movie. He was amazing. And yes, Tom Holland as Peter Parker / Spider-Man is probably the best Spider-Man to date. Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, you could really see him playing the Peter Parker side extremely well. But when he put on the mask, he was basically just not the character. He felt more like a robot because he never really talked all that much when he put on the costume. With Andrew Garfield, it's the complete opposite. When he's Peter Parker, he doesn't feel like an outcast. He doesn't feel like a nerd or like a scientist or anything like that. He feels like the popular. He literally looks like he would be the popular kid, and he looks really cool and stuff like that. But when he puts on the costume and is Spider-Man, he's good as Spider-Man. That's something that Tom Holland nailed. He plays both parts extremely well. He is the best Spider-Man to date. So yeah, all the characters basically played their parts like in an amazing way. They were all fantastic, especially Michael Keaton as the Vulture. Like I said, he killed it, and Tom Holland is great too as Spider-Man. And I hope to see him maybe get better and get even more better in future films like Avengers Infinity War and the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming. Wow. Guys, this movie was honestly a blast. All the parts with Peter Parker, you wouldn't expect to be as interesting as when he's in the costume. But all the parts as Peter Parker are almost just as interesting as the parts where he's Spider-Man. There is a fantastic balance between that when he's Peter Parker and then when he's Spider-Man. So that's awesome. There was not a single moment in this movie where I felt like there was nothing interesting happening. I just loved seeing this character and doing what all he's doing. And like, talk about Spider-Man's like costume. It has like built-in stuff by Tony Stark, and the costume is all like techie and stuff like that. That's a new thing to the costume that we've never seen in film before, and that was extremely well. Like Karen, like the talking person like that is programmed into his suit, that's just amazing. I just felt like that was probably the best part about the costume. And speaking of the costume looks great. I mean, it's probably my favorite in film so far, because like I did like the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume, and that was really good. But I feel like this is a new take on Spider-Man, something that we've never seen before. This is interesting, and I love this new Spider-Man. Well, that's pretty much it for non-spoilers. Before we get into the spoilers, overall, I definitely super recommend this movie. It's definitely high ranked in my favorites of MCU films. It's not my favorite. Avengers is probably still my favorite, as you guys know. But Spider-Man Homecoming was a blast, guys. If you have not seen this movie yet, go see it. It is currently in theaters now. Well, where I am, at least. But it is spectacular. Yeah, overall, before we get into spoilers, I would rate Spider-Man Homecoming an A, because, oh my god, this was just amazing. So now we were going to get into spoilers. So if you guys have not seen the film, if you guys have not had a chance to see the film yet, don't watch this part if you don't want to get spoiled. So here we go, warning spoilers. Like I said, Michael Keaton as the Vulture, amazing. He was fantastic. And eventually, when Peter asks Liz to go to the homecoming with him, she says yeah. And when Peter is about to go pick up Liz to go to the homecoming, he rings the doorbell, and Adrian Toomes answers it as, like, the Vulture. He answers it, and oh my god, that part I was not expecting, because because all the MCU villains so far have, for the most part, been like forgettable, besides Loki and stuff like that. But since Spider-Man has a lot of really good developed villains, and this was really cool to see, because it gave like Peter a more personal relationship to the villain he was fighting, and that was just awesome. And you could see the whole time Peter was just scared out of his mind. He did not even want to go to homecoming anymore. He was just like, no, I'm out, because like, oh my, and it's done so well. And probably one of the best scenes in the film. There is like two great scenes that I gotta mention, and one of them is the car scene where Michael Keaton is just like sitting in the front. He goes to drop Liz off, but then he gives like Peter the dad talk, and oh my god, that scene is amazing. It's probably one of the best scenes in the movie. He just pulls out a gun and kind of stares back at Peter. He threatens Peter, and he says, "I'm gonna kill you if you ever mess with my stuff again." Wow, that scene was amazing. So when Peter gets into the homecoming, he says to Liz, you don't deserve this, and he just runs out to the back, puts on his homemade Spider-Man outfit, because earlier in the film, Tony Stark did take away his like high-tech suit. One of the best scenes in the film is when Vulture, with his wings, he kind of just like makes his wings fly all over the place and makes a bunch of debris fall over Peter. And when he's trying to get out from the debris, he's crying, and he's kind of just he's trying to lift it up. He's like, I'm Spider-Man, I'm Spider-Man. He keeps on repeating himself, and that's probably one of the best scenes in the film by far. That's just amazing, and you really feel for Peter in this film and his struggle. Then of course there's the finale with Spider-Man and the Vulture on top of the plane. You've probably seen that in the trailer, like where they're on the plane and stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty good. And at the end, Peter basically saves the Vulture's life by saving him from the explosion that he was going to kill himself with when he picked up that box with the explosives in it. We then get a post-credit scene, the after-credit scene, where Vulture is now in jail and he meets up with in the jail. He actually meets up with Matt Gargan, the Scorpion. And then he says, I got a couple guys out back who want to slice Spider-Man's throat, oh, wow. And yeah, that was really cool. I actually didn't know that was Scorpion until I got home and went on YouTube and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, amazing film. I mean, it's not perfect. There is teeny little gripes I have, but those are just nitpicks. But overall, yeah, this is the best Spider-Man film we've gotten to date. The best Spider-Man actor we've gotten to date. I have high hopes for the rest of these Spider-Man stuff in the MCU. So those were my thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming, the newest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, it's been a hassle going through these Marvel Cinematic Universe films. But we're finally done, so yeah. I had a great time with this film. Hopefully, if you saw it, you did too. So thank you guys for watching. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, Crazy Army.